have been taught through this, in this movement, you need to go get birth certificates authenticated. You need to get their documents that they created, get those authenticated. Then you can get some type of remedy through that. But, you know, I'm 10 years into this now, and I have never seen a birth certificate do anything for anybody that got authenticated. I mean, it helped prove some things as far as getting I used it to get a passport and things like that. But outside of that, it hasn't done anything of any significance. And, I'm going to ask the audiences. A lot of you guys been around for a long time. All of you who have authenticated your birth certificate, what has it done for you?
Nothing. And I was one of the first.
So anybody else can concur with that or confirm what he just said?
Same. I ain't did nothing with it. Everybody talks about, they deposited in it for money and all of that. I ain't never seen nobody do it. And
well, everybody that's ever tried to get something off the birth certificate either got in some legal trouble, they're in jail, or something else has happened. So, I mean, so I was sitting down thinking, I said, wait a minute, why are we using documents they're creating? Any document they're creating is for their benefit. They created it, and they gave you the illusion that, you need these documents in order to prove your existence. And it's 50% true. It's 50% true. You do, for their benefit, you need to prove the existence of that estate for their benefit. But it's never for you. Any proceeding that you go to legally, the first thing they ask you, what's your name? And what's your birth certificate? Let me see that birth certificate. You present your birth certificate and all of that to get a driver's license. And they charge you to get a driver's license that they say you're required to have if you want to drive on their roads. You have to have this, but at the same time, we're going to charge you. We're going to make you pay for this. And those are some things I've always confused. Well, if I got to have it, y'all should be footing the bill for this. You making me get this. I got to get around. Especially out here in the country, you ain't the transit, there's no real transit system. Some places you need a car, right? So I'm going to show you guys still some people getting in, coming out. It's always, I came on late and they still coming in late. So this is to show you how to create. All right, thanks for joining the Car Trust webinar, how to purchase a car, put a car in a trust, all the procedures that it takes. It's not very difficult. It's not, but I'm gonna go through it. All right, so let's go to my let's start here. What's the benefits of putting your car in a trust? Here it says a trust is a legal arrangement that allows you to transfer ownership of your assets, such as a car, to your trustee. This can offer a number of advantages, including asset protection, privacy, and the ability. Oh, let me share the screen. Y'all just gonna let me read that, right? Y'all gonna do that? That's how we do it. It's just gonna let me do that. Here we go. Somebody's coming in. Let's start over. What's the benefits of putting your car in a trust? A trust is a legal arrangement that allows you to transfer ownership of your assets, such as your car, to a trustee. This can offer a number of advantages, including asset protection, privacy, and the ability to pass down your assets to future generations. One of the primary benefits of putting your car in a trust is asset protection. If you own a car, it is considered an asset that can be seized to pay off debts or lawsuits. By putting your car into a trust, you can protect it from creditors and ensure that it remains in your control, even in the event of financial difficulties. Let me stop right there. The best way to protect a car in a trust is to make it an irrevocable trust. if it's a standard, living trust, but it's not irrevocable, whoever's involved in that trust will have issues with the trust. Say if the trustee has financial issues, tax issues, because in some senses, the trustee is considered the legal owner of the asset. The grantor, if he's got tax issues or other lawsuits, they can penetrate that trust, depending on how it's written. But if it's an irrevocable trust considered its own entity, and none of the parties involved have any liability, because that asset belongs to that trust. The trustee is just managing it. All right. So some people will say, oh, if it's irrevocable, you can't change it, this, that, and the other. That's true. But if you have wording in that trust that gives the trustee power to buy and sell and title property and take title to property, you could put a car in the trust and it can come out of it, long as that language is there. And that's going to be a very important language to have in there, especially when you're registering the car. They are going to look for that. When I get to that part, I'll go into detail. Another advantage of putting your car into a trust is privacy. When you put your car into a trust, it is no longer in your name and therefore not listed as one of your assets. This can provide you with a sense of privacy and confidentiality and help to keep your financial information private. In addition to asset protection and privacy, putting your car into a trust can also allow you to pass down your assets to future generations. So depending on how you write this trust, you can say who gets it next. There won't no arguments over your property. Make sure nobody else is trying to get in. Doesn't look like it. We're still missing 2 people. All right. That means your car can be passed to your children or other beneficiaries without the need for probate court proceedings. This can save your loved ones time, money, and stress, and ensure that your assets are distributed according to your wishes. In conclusion, putting your car in a trust offers a number of benefits, including asset protection, privacy, the ability to pass down your assets to future generations. The other benefit that's not mentioned here, when you buy a car with a trust, especially if you take a loan out, that is considered a business expense. So that loan can be written off. Those payments, those monthly payments, you can write them off as an expense to the trust. Registration, any fees, oil changes, all that stuff can be become a tax credit. Now, if you have it in your name and you're using it what they call personal use, they're not going to give you that tax break on some of the stuff that you do, unless you're using that specific car for work-related stuff. And then you have to separate separate from what's personal and what's not. But when it's already titled to a trust, it's a business expense. When you open up a bank account for a trust, it's a business account. So that's the major benefit to having your car in a trust. All right. So those are the benefits. So you got to create your trust before you can buy a car, put it in, title it into a trust. You got to create a trust. Creating a trust is a process of establishing a legal arrangement which trustees hold and manage assets such as property or financial assets on behalf of one or more beneficiaries. The process of creating a trust involves several steps, including 1, determine the purpose of the trust. The purpose of this webinar, you create a trust for a car. Now, this is what I do. I have several trusts. I have a trust specifically for cars, and I have a trust specifically for property such as a house or other valuable assets. I will not put a car in the same trust as a house. Why? I'm driving around in this car all day. I hit somebody. I'm at fault. And if my insurance doesn't cover everything, and something really serious happens and that trust, that insurance policy for the car doesn't cover everything, they can go after the other assets that belong to that trust. So if you have your home and your car in the same trust, they can come after that car, just like any other individual. A trust is an individual, it's a person. So it can be sued just like anybody, anything. So be mindful when you put in a car in the trust that you don't put it put anything in that trust that you don't want to lose. Okay? That's just the way I do it. So when I bought the car, I'm going to show you that how I did it. There's nothing else in that trust but that car. That's it. So there you have it. All right. Choose your trustee. The next step is to choose a trustee who will be responsible for managing the assets in the trust. This can be an individual or institution such as a bank or trust company. So they're saying an individual could be a trust or a institution. Basically what they're saying, an entity, any entity can be a trustee as well. So if you're in my premium membership, we show you how to have a trust, and then you create another trust that looks like you. So like my name is Akeem Barber. I have an Akeem Barber trust. But that Akeem Barber trust is a trustee for my other trust. But it looks like me, but it ain't me. All right, so I control all of these entities through EINs and trust, but I don't own any of it. Okay? Me, the living, breathing being doesn't own it. I just control it. All right? Are we following? Are you guys following me?
Yes, sir, we are.
All right. So, the key to success is to control stuff. Limit your ownership. Why? Because ownership comes with problems for you. You can be sued and they can take it all away from you. But if it's in an entity name, they can't touch it. So somebody was about to say something. Who was that? Hello? Wasn't nobody? I thought I heard somebody trying to talk. All right. Oh, let me say this. If you have questions, hold them till I set it up for you to ask the questions. Be mindful. And those of you, keep your mics muted unless you're ready to speak or you're asked to speak. Just being respectful for everybody here. So far, everybody's doing good. I just have to mention that. All right. Draft the trust agreement. Once you have determined the purpose of the trust and chosen a trustee, the next step is to draft the trust agreement. This is a legal document that outlines the terms and conditions of the trust, including the names of the trustor, trustee, and beneficiaries, the assets included in the trust, and the duties and responsibility of the trustee. So let's go back to what I said. I chose a trustee. What I chose was an entity, a trust, another trust that I created to control my other trust. All right? So some people, you can't be the trustee and the beneficiary. You can't be this and that. It depends on how you set it up. If the trustee is an entity, yes, you can be the beneficiary. Yes. Fund the trust. The next step is to fund the trust by transferring ownership of the assets you want to include in the trust to the trustee. It's very important. A lot of people are setting up trust, but they are not funding the trust. A trust is not a trust until it gets funded, until it has an asset to control or to hold. Okay? If you got a trust, hey, I got a trust. Many people, I got me a trust. Okay, what does that trust own? Oh, I don't know. I ain't got no ownership. It doesn't mean that trust don't own anything. It's not a trust. It's just a piece of paper that says some stuff on it. Okay? So fund it with anything. Fund it with $20, $10, whatever. Now you have an official trust.
If you ain't ready to put a car in it or anything else, fund it with $1, a cell phone, whatever. Put something in it. And what you do is you create a Schedule A for assets, and then you list in detail what that asset is. So those of you who have trust and you have not done that, you got some homework to do. Go fund that trust. And now you got an official trust. Maintain the trust. Finally, it's important to maintain the trust and keep it in good standing. This involves following the terms and conditions outlined in the trust agreement and making any necessary updates or changes to the trust as needed. Creating a trust can be a complex process, and it's important to consult financial advisor or attorney to ensure that the trust is established correctly and meets your specific needs and goals. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you really don't need an attorney to do this. You can do it all yourself with research. They got places you can go online and you can create a trust without hiring an attorney. Attorneys, because they have so much education, they can complicate things, and they really not gonna give you the dedication and care that you really need. You know what you need. Just do your research. And plus, I'm gonna give y'all sample trust as part of this, being part of the webinar anyway. So you're gonna get a sample trust, you're gonna get a trust certification sample, and what else I was gonna give you? Oh, I have a irrevocable trust webinar. I'm gonna give you guys that. I didn't say that before, but y'all gonna have that because y'all need to have a full understanding of trust. Most people on here already have a trust, I think. There might be a few of you who do not. So some of you guys already have that irrevocable trust webinar. But I'm including that as part of the stuff you can go and study after this webinar. All right, somebody's got a comment here. Someone says they can't hear anything. Everybody else, y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, I'm coming in loud and clear. So
Loud and clear.
That's their issue. All right, thank you. All right, any questions before I go on to trust certification? Nope. I'm doing a good job explaining? Okay. So after you create a trust, before you can title a car, you need a trust certification. Trust certification is a document that certifies the existence and validity of the trust. It typically includes important information about the trust, such as the names of the trustor, trustee, and beneficiaries, the date of the trust agreement, and description of the trust assets and purpose. A trust certification is often used to provide proof of the trust's existence and validity to third parties such as banks, government agencies, or other institutions. This document can be crucial in situations where the trust is used to hold assets or manage financial affairs, as it provides legal recognition of the trust and its purpose. Trust certification is very important because this is the document you will provide to entities that you're doing business with without handing them your trust that has all your private details in it. Right? Okay, there's places that's, oh, I need to see your whole trust. No, they don't. All they need is a trust certification. Now, in some cases, some banks, especially your big banks like Fidelity, will ask to just see the first and last page of the trust agreement. That's fine, because the first page is going to have the description of the trust, what's the name, EIN number, and on the last is going to be the notarization of that trust. They're just going to ask for that. Some places, very few, but most places will not need that. The DMV will not need it. They will take a trust certification. How I know? That's what I gave them. And I'll show y'all in a minute. But before I do that, let me just show y'all an example of a trust. Hang on. For those of you who do not know what that is, how do I move this over here? Pull this up. All right, this is a sample. Let me share the screen. This is what a copy. This is what you're gonna get after the webinar is over. These templates here, something like this. He sets up trust as well. We do it for you. Of course, that is comes at a fee when we do it. Here it is in this trust. It says number 7, to sell, convey, grant options to purchase, lease, transfer, exchange, otherwise dispose any trust assets as terms deemed advisable, to execute and deliver deeds, leases, bill of sale, and other instruments of whatever character, and take calls to be taken. Boom. Here we go. All right. Once again, driver's license webinar 2. Thanks for tuning in. And you guys are gonna get a lot of information. I'm gonna go over some little bit of history on why I did another webinar. And then I'm gonna we're just gonna be mainly dealing with the templates, what to give them, how to deal with the opposition, because always there's some type of opposition from their world. So that's what I'm adding to it. Plus, I changed the language in some of the documents, and I'm also adding years ago we talked about the injunction, so that has been changed. It's kind of you can still look at it like an injunction, but that is going to be an option you can include with submitting your paperwork. All right. Someone said they're waiting for 2 months for the authentication. Yes, authentication takes a while. Sometimes they call you, and if you don't answer, they'll send you a letter. But it took me 3-4 months to get mine back, and COVID has not been helping that situation out at all. All right, so let's go to close your screen now. Let's go here. I'm gonna share the screen in a minute. As soon as mine. All right. Every state, well, I won't say every. Yes, Michael, you have to request your authentication. All right, let's go over here, share the screen. All right, this is an article that came out in February 6th of 2018, which is funny that it let me make sure this, are you guys seeing that screen? With the woman's driver's license, the head?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, good.
Yes, I can.
All right.
It's cut off. Are we supposed to be seeing the full license?
Well, it's cut off because I
Okay.
have to scroll through it. You should be seeing me scrolling now. You good?
Good.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the article. And on this article, it explains how in North Carolina, they passed a bill for the American Indians to have a designation on the driver's license. They can opt in to do that. Then I went and researched 1 or 2 more states, and guess what? Pretty much all of them had the option to self-identify who you are and have it on your driver's license. Now, one of the pitfalls is, which we all know, is that is that they only leave a certain designation for you to check off. And we all know why that is, right? They want you to fit into one of their U.S. citizen titles. And my old teaching is don't fit into a U.S. citizen title. Hang on, there's someone trying to get in here. I don't know. I know there's a couple of extra double entries in here. Hang on a second. You know, we always got to be late to the party, right? One of us have to be. I don't know what ATO is, but
Have to go deep with tunes.
huh? All right. So this article explains how there was a representative who was he was part of a tribe, and he lobbied to get these designations on for his people, American Indians. Well, we all know who the real American Indians are, right? When you look at a person of color or what we call them black, most likely they are an American. Okay, there we go. Is that better? All right, there we go. All right, so what I was saying before my mic somehow mysteriously got muted, I was saying how the Smithsonian and the Army Corps of Engineers went around and strategically flooded out the American Indians around this country. I pretty much, when I was doing the study, it was about, I want to say 20 or 30 states this happened in that I could find. Hang on, I'm right making some notes. And what I was just showing earlier was this bill, which I'm not going to read again, how you can designate and claim your nationality through your driver's license. You don't need any special documentation. All you have to do is say it. Because if you read it, it doesn't say you have to do that. You see? And the other fact, if you truly want to look up your American Indian heritage, you have to go through the maternal line. You can't go through the patriarch line. It has to be the maternal. And here's why. Y'all remember that story about Pocahontas, right? How she fell in love with this white guy and you know, it was this love story and both sides didn't want them together, blah, 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 blah. But the true story is Pocahontas, the true Pocahontas, did fall like a white guy. And she married him. And then they end up killing her. And all the man wanted was her land, because the land was tied to the matriarch, the maternal line. Because in our culture, back then, the women held title to the land. Why? Because men go off to war. Somebody's got to stay behind and hold on to the property. So when you're researching, you have to follow that matriarch land, because somewhere in there, that was the other way they took land, was by marrying into one of the women in order to claim land ownership. And this is how a lot of us got amalgamated. This is where we started getting our mulatto bloodline started to come in. Because there was a time where it was okay, where the women were mixing it. And then there was a time where they were forced marrying into the maternal line. So that's what I was getting educated on today. You follow the maternal line, and that's true, because when I was trying to find my ancestry, I always found it through the maternal line. It was very difficult to follow the paternal line. It was skipping all over the place. But when I followed the traces of my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and I found a great-grandmother who registered in North Carolina on the Doors Roads as a Cherokee Indian. And remember, Cherokee is what I want to call a trader title, because that's not the true tribal name. That was the accepted 5 civilized tribe that the government allowed a very small number of tribes and gave them recognition because they had sold out the other tribes. And that's when there was a rush of Caucasians going in as $5 Indians. So earlier, what got muted out was the when I was reading this General Assembly about how you can designate yourself as an American Indian. And what I would do is, let me just do a quick search. I just said find other states like that. So they say there is five states that have this type of bill. If you guys missed it, it is actually, let me pull it up. Let me see if they give me a link. They say here, here's what it says. It says North Carolina has the law where you could designate American Indian. Arizona, House Bill 2852. Y'all might want to write this down. Oklahoma, they don't have a specific bill, but it's a regular process in Oklahoma. New Mexico and Washington State, not Washington, D.C. Now, there's some states that have proposals on the book, like South Dakota, Montana, Minnesota, and Alaska. All right. All right, since the mic was, everybody said now it's good. Yeah. All right. The last thing I wanted to go over was affidavits, especially when dealing with a debt collector and you're disputing a debt. Your affidavit must specifically deny that debt. Specifically deny it. Specifically deny the debt. Now, according to the rules, it doesn't, all you have to do is deny it. You don't have to, it's up to the plaintiff to provide burden of proof, not you. But the way the courts are running and they're siding with these lawyers, I would say deny that debt specifically. All right? But you can always win, vacate void judgment if you lose, and go to the appeals court and you'll win on your appeal. But these courts are working in favor for the attorneys, and they're not always fair. So I gave y'all hints. If you want to check your lineage, look through the maternal line and get not the married names, but the maiden names. The maiden names is crucial to finding going way back. Because right now, what I'm working on is getting it all the way back to where we can do. People have talked about land patents for a long time, and I haven't found any validity to it. But today was the first time that I made a connection where possibly, if we do this right, we can claim some of this land back. I'm saying possibly, but you already know when I say possibly, it end up being a reality somewhere down the line. Now I can't tell you how long. I'm still up right at the 50% along stage of being able to do this. But if I bring it up, that means I'm on to it. And so I made some connections with some people, and we're sharing information, and hopefully we can knock this out. It might like I actually, the tribe that I'm a part of now, made connections and found out that we are relatives from the same town. Go figure. We are actually relatives. So anyway. Let's go to the chat. Let's see what it's saying. And some of the places you can go is archives.gov. You get those census records. Like I got a bunch of census records, and what happened is I saved them on my computer. I don't know where they are, but I think I found one of the census records because I saved it to my ancestry.com account. And you know, I don't really trust ancestry.com, but it does come in handy. It does come in handy. Where is this? This is not the one I was looking at. Let me go back to this email. Okay, accept invitation. Okay. All right. All right. All right. With that being said, this is what I was looking for. The census records. 19. Was that? No, I need this one. This is the census record. I found it. Found it. So these are one of the census. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. And this is what you see highlighted is all my relatives. This is my aunt Lula, who, the one I always talk about, that died at 105 years old. And this comes from, it shows you right here where it comes from. And apparently on this census record, it has, it was telling me to look for a code, and I believe let me see. I gotta get the information to find the code they were talking about. And they got it all highlighted who the relatives are under the barbers. See, there's a lot of children. There's a lot of daughters. I think, let me see. My grandfather was the only son. Well, it was two sons, and the rest daughters. Yeah. I think by the time they took this census, my great grandmother was already passed on, so they didn't have her in here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 daughters. Oh, it is the wife there. And 1 son, which is my grandfather. And there's the wife, Alberta. So what I would have to do is get Alberta's maiden name so that I can trace it back further. All right. There you go. If you want to look it up, there you go. I got that record from, I went to nationalarchives.gov to get that. So, and this was the 15th. This is the 15th census of 1930. Department of Commerce, Bureau of the Census. All right, well, I'm getting off. I'm sorry that it was muted part of the way, but I believe y'all all got the point on what I was talking about. Let me get my thing up. See what the chat is saying. It said my great grandfather on my dad's side has mulatto on his birthday and registration with the state Social Security. So I'm not sure what you're trying to say there, bro. I would have to look for the records in MS on my mom's side. That is correct. That is correct. All right. If you're in my membership, I have access to where you can become a tribal member, but you have to go be in the membership to get the information. I do not disclose it to the whole world because I was told not to. So go to my school platform, join up, and then you can get that information so that you can get your tribal ID card like this. Get that. All right. With that being said, peace, prosperity, extreme wealth. You guys have a good night.